Good evening. I hope y'all are having a good Monday evening. I know I am. Been able to actually sit down with some good books and read some good books lately. So, anytime I get to sit down with some books, it's a blessing. It sure is. So, I talked the other day a little bit about Max Lucado's books that I was reading. And see if I can get the right one open here to quote something for you. Maybe this one. I actually think it was kind of on down toward the end. Let me see. Anyway, it's my heart is with all of the people over where the hurricane affected them. Mainly here where we live at, we just got the wind effect from the hurricane, so it wasn't all that bad here. But other people got it pretty rough. Very sad. Finally reached my cousin and her husband. Finally reached both of them, and come to find out they're both okay. They didn't have no damage to their house. They actually live in Spruce Pine, so they didn't have no damage to their house, but their town pretty much was destroyed. It's just sad. Very, very sad. In Max Lucado's book, he writes on page 82 of his book what happens next. He writes on page 82, and this one thing here really stuck out with to me, and I'd just like to read it to you. Harpozo. It's like harp, then AZO. Harpozo. That is the Greek word used by the Apostle Paul to describe the next major event on God's calendar. According to the Lord's word, we tell you that we who are still alive, who are left until the coming of the Lord, will certainly not precede those who have fallen asleep. For the Lord himself will come down from heaven with a loud command, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump call of God. And the dead in Christ arise first. After that, we who still alive and are left will be called up, harpozoed together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. And so shall we ever be with the Lord forever. Therefore, encourage one another with these words. That's 1 Thessalonians 4:13 through 18. Just a little simpler words there, but it means the same thing. But the word harpozoed, caught up. We should be caught up in the middle of the air to meet the Lord. And the verb harpozo translates into English, to seize or to snatch, and in Latin, rapere, from which comes the English word rapture. The Lord describes the most mysterious miracle, the moment in which the living believers will be caught up or harpozoed. Harpozoed. So I thought that was interesting. A new word, harpozoed. It just means to snatch or to seize. And just think about it. If I'm going to snatch something, I got to go in and snatch a cup of coffee, or I got to go in and snatch my keys. How many times do we say that? Well, that's kind of how fast it's going to be when the Lord comes back to get us, is what he's saying in this book, harpozoed. He's going to come back. He's going to snatch us for himself. But I really enjoyed that. And I was going to read just a few other things in here if I can find it. Let's see if we can find he also writes this, and this is something that I found interesting here in the book, What Happens Next. And this is actually, I think, found in just the very first few pages, on page number 3. Listen to this. And this is just a different paraphrase of John 14, 1 through 3. Do not let your hearts be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there you may be also. Now, what Jesus said, note what Jesus said. He lifted their eyes. He shifted their thoughts. He spoke of the Father's house, a prepared place, his promised return. In essence, he said, think less about your present fears. Think much more about your eternal home. What would Jesus say to this troubled generation of ours? Hope is an endangered species. We are more troubled than we've been in nearly 50 years. Only 14% of respondents checked very happy box on the survey questionnaires. We are less optimistic about the future than we've been in 3 decades. Nearly 1 in 4 people, which translates to 1 billion people, feels very or fairly lonely. Happiness is down, loneliness is up, and optimism has taken a right hook to the chin. Most alarming is the absence of peace among our youth. Research from our National Institute of Mental Health is showing epidemic of mental health problems among 18 to 24-year-olds in the United States. Listen to these statistics. 1 out of 4 show symptoms of anxiety disorder. 1 in 8 young adults, 13%, has experienced serious suicidal thoughts. 1 in 7 young adults deals with a substance use disorder, including drugs or alcohol. Overall, half of college-age individuals indicate they regularly experience anxiety, depression, fear, and suicidal thoughts. Today's young adults, tomorrow's generation of leaders, are struggling to find meaning and purpose of their lives. Think about that. So, Jesus wants us to look up. He wants us to focus on Him. I deal with all that myself. I'll be honest, I deal with it, all that. I deal with it myself, but I've learned to try and to put it in the Lord's hands. My sister helps me out so much. And it helps when you have somebody. It talks about loneliness in there. I'm a firm believer it helps when you have a Bible study group. It helps when you have maybe a book club or maybe some kind of around here we have ham radio clubs. I mean, there's all kinds of things that you can get together in. Gamers could get together and game together, through online. But there's just so much that you can do and help each other and encourage each other out. My sister is my biggest encourager. I'm just going to tell you that right now. My brother and my sister, and my sister-in-law, and my brother-in-law, they're all encouragers to me, It's just how it is. But, I never dreamt I'd have another sister, but now I've got another sister, My sister-in-law, but she's my sissy. I love her dearly. She's actually, I called her when I was in the hospital a few weeks ago. I called her. I was just anxious and depressed and nervous. I didn't know what to expect next. I was scared. I called her, and you know what? She answered the phone. She was available. Did let me talk. And that helped me. That really helped me. And that's what we need in this life. If and I hope any of my friends that's thinking thoughts of hurting themselves, I hope that they would come to me, and talk to me. I'd pray that they would. Anyway, I wanted to touch base with that book. Again, Max Lucado's What Will Happen Next. If you've not read it, get it and study it. It would be a very good study to do. I'm going to go ahead and get my newsletter done this evening, just right after I get off of here. I hope to get my newsletter done and everything done. There's a new book out by, I'll show you the book actually. You may recognize her, Connie Chung from CBS Nightly News, and she has written a memoir. A few years ago, I read Dan Rather's What Unites Us, and I really, really loved that book. And now she's written one. It's just simply called Connie, a memoir. Just read a little bit about it here. Connie Chung broke the glass and bamboo ceiling when she became the first Asian American woman to co-anchor national news broadcast program. Joining Dan Rather at the desk of the CBS Evening News, her visibility and success led generations of Chinese parents to name their daughters Connie. Think about that. That would be something, they named their children or their daughters after Connie. And briskly paced memoir Connie Chung recounts her personal and professional life with candor, humor, and heart. Growing up as the youngest of 10 daughters, she's the only child in the family born in the U.S. Chung spent more time watching television than doing chores, and her family stopped everything to listen to Walter Cronkite on the CBS Evening News. The legendary newsman's coverage of politics and government lit a spark in Chung. In 1971, she landed a job as Washington correspondent on his program. Congrite, she writes, reactivated gravitas and humility, never behaving like the superstar he was. Like the next 40 years, Chung embraced the excitement of landing an exclusive story interview and faced challenges of being A woman in a male-dominated world. Profession. A woman in a male-dominated profession, sorry. Connie carries readers through the ups and downs of Chung's career in major networks. ABC, NBC, CBS piped her image and voice into millions of American living rooms during the prime time. Readers will glimpse the relationships that has sustained Chung. But anyway, sounds like it's going to be a very, very good book. I'm going to go ahead and put my hold on the Libraries Unbound of Kentucky. I'm going to go ahead and do that here in just a few minutes. I would encourage you to do the same, to put a hold on that, maybe get it on interlibrary loan, but try and get that book and read that book, okay? Well, it sounds like it's going to be a good one because it's just amazing. I always loved listening. I always liked listening to the nightly news. There was just something, I mean, just the sound of it coming on. Anyway. I hope that this video finds you all good. I hope that everything is okay. We're probably going to try and maybe by the end of the week, if my foot allows me to try some trails. I don't know. We'll see. I've got gout in my foot right now. And very painful, but I bear with it and go on. And we will talk to y'all next time.